Hello, welcome back to the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is our day. I'm so happy to be with you today. If you are new to this channel, I have been on a long hiatus from posting on the channel, although I have continued to do readings and continue to develop as we go through this time, but needing to take a bit of a break. If you are coming as a result of the webinar that I am going to be doing tomorrow, which is still open to attend if you are interested. It is called Finding Light in the Chaos, which is what this reading is also called, as kind of a supplement to that webinar. That webinar can be found on Eventbrite. I will put the link in the description down there. It is $5 to register, and it's going to be a 90-minute recharge, a reset button, if you will. I will do a guided meditation, as well as there will be some information, guidance on practical tools that we can use to find light in whatever chaos, struggle, uncertainty that you may personally be dealing with, to help us to be able to continue to keep our focus moving toward our light. And connect with our inner strength. So that being said, today's reading is about finding light in the chaos. And so what I'm going to do is offer 3 different piles for you to choose from. You may find that there's more than one that resonates with you, and you can certainly dial into that. There might be a message for you, or you can just choose one and go for it, and you'll find the timestamps in the description box below. The reading will sort of be set up in kind of 3 parts. I'll look at the situation or the current uncertainty, if you will, that you are facing. And then we will look at what you might not see, some shadow aspects of, how you can kind of deal with the situation and move forward. And then the third part, well, there's actually 4 parts. The third part is about taking action. Where do we find the light? How do we help move that ourselves focused onto that light? And then the final is the final guidance from Spirit. I'll pull just a couple of oracle cards in looking at, what is the guidance, the support that is coming from whoever you call higher power or your higher self. For me, that is God. So that being said, let's get into it. So the 3 piles are, I pulled the stones and haven't looked, so let's take a look. So pile 1 will be, you can be drawn into it with hope. Beautiful. Hope. Pile 2, faith. And pile 3, desire. Now, I will say that as I was praying over and setting up for this reading, I felt compelled to have 3 candles. There's this sort of sense of 3s. I'm probably going to pull 3 tarot cards for each of the sections. There's a strong sense of 3. And when I think about it and contemplate on this concept of, why was I feeling pulled for these 3s, a lot of times when I think about 3, I think about community. So I feel like one of our first keys overall for all of us, as we're looking at how do we find light within the chaos or uncertainty that we may be feeling, is community. What does community look like for you? How can you engage in community? How can you be a participant in community? How can you be a leader in community? How can you create communities that are needed? So that's something to think about as we go into this, and I'll see you in your readings. All right. Hello, pile 1. So if you got drawn in by the hope stone, this is going to be your reading, okay? And just if you did not tune into the intro, this is going to be broken into really 4 parts, which is the first part we're going to look at here, which is just an overview of the situation. We're talking about finding light in chaos. So an overview of your current situation, whether it be uncertainty or just feeling like things are unraveling or upheaval or just day-to-day stress, right? Whatever it may be. So we're going to take a look at what that situation is and see if it will give us some clues into how to move forward. You started with the Hope Stone. So there's really a sense overarching this whole piece that part of your work, if you will, within the journey of finding light is to hold on to hope. You know, as we say, hold on to, well, within faith, hold on to the mustard seed, but that's what came to mind. So even if you don't have a lot of hope right now or feeling very, very discouraged, this reading is here to tell you that it is important for you to hold on to hope. So let's take a look at the situation. So we've got 3 tarot cards here. You've got the Ten of Pentacles, the Devil, the Queen of Wands, and then we've got some oracle cards here. So you've got, these are from the Crow deck, and this is from the Wooden Warden's deck. So let's take a look at what we're seeing here. So first of all, the Ten of Pentacles is a beautiful stability card. So what this tells me, because I'm asking, what is the situation? What might be going on in terms of causing some sort of conflict or chaos or struggle in some way? We've got the Ten of Pentacles, the Devil, and the Queen of Wands. So this tells me that there is an upheaval, if you will, when it comes to sort of your foundation, right? Your material world, your money, your job. Some of you may have experienced a recent loss, or may be hearing, because the Devil represents fear, you may also be hearing something. There may be a lot of dialogue or chatter that makes you feel like your stability is going to be upended, right? And that can cause a lot of stress. And the other thing that's going on for you is that you are a natural born leader. You have this sense of passion. You may be doing something that you love, or you just may be someone who knows how to get things done. So if you're that type of individual and you are seeing these things coming up, when fear creeps in, it can help to overturn even more of what you believe in, right? So the Devil card tells us that, you know, when it turns up for me, I always say, those who've been listening to this channel, I say, thou art loose, right? Because the devil is an illusion, okay? The devil causes illusions, trickery in our world to make us believe that we're more trapped than we actually are, okay? It talks about fear, feeling like you're stuck in a certain situation or things have to be done in a certain way. And it's kind of almost a sense of like doom is what I'm hearing, like this sense of like we're in a place of doom. And it brings me back to the stone that we pulled. It is important for you to hold on to hope, no matter what it looks like your circumstances are. There's a bit of illusion that is going on here within your circumstances. Now, the oracle cards point to you needing to take a risk, to take an adventure. The crow is soaring here and about to take an adventure, but they're uncertain. They don't know what's going to be on the other side of those hills or other side of the mountains. They just feel a calling in their heart to pursue something out of the norm, out of their current territory, out of their current environment. And so for you, that may be what's going on for you, is that you're feeling a bit of pull, of passion. Now, this may be coming up for you, particularly when things begin to quiet down in the nighttime, okay? Some of you may be experiencing an inability to sleep, or just kind of just being more alert, if you will, within the nighttime. One of the things that can be an indication of is that your soul, your higher power, divinity, the angels, whatever it may be that you believe, are trying to speak to you. They're trying to make a way for you to hear them. And the best way to do that is when things are a bit more still around you. So I invite you to really think about your sleep routine, okay? Give yourself the sense of sacredness around your sleep. Make sure that you give yourself a routine. I know that it's not always easy, but try to find, at least, you know, for a period of time here, a standard time in which you're putting yourself to bed. turning off media, making sure that you can have some stillness within your own mind, heart, and soul so that you can hear the whispers of the divine. You can hear the whispers of your own soul, because those are the guidance that you need right now to help you navigate the fear that is popping up in your situation. Okay? And then the other thing is that some of you all may have experienced an upheaval. So as I said before, we started with this 10 of Pentacles. Some of you may have experienced an upheaval, because this card here is the vulture and the, I'm probably not going to say this right, but asphodel. Okay, that is the flower here. And the vulture here, as we know, can also represent a kind of a death, a decaying, right? And this card really speaks to an upheaval, right? That a message coming in, something is dying away, okay? And that for us as human beings can be very, very challenging. This card calls for you to allow yourself to have the moments of grief that you need as you deal with this upheaval, but do not let it stop you. You've got this beautiful Queen of Wands energy in you, this fighter spirit, this leader, this charismatic being who can make something out of nothing. And so you have an opportunity here to give yourself space, quiet your mind in the night, come up with a sleep routine, and help yourself to move through the maybe financial, physical upheaval that you're currently seeing. So the situation I'm seeing for you all has to do with your foundation, your home, your material wealth, your foundation, right? So that's what the situation is for this group. Now, let's switch gears and look at what you might not be seeing in this situation, okay? So I'll pause for just a moment and then pull the next set of cards. Okay, pile number one, let's look at what you're not seeing, okay? So we've got, wow, okay. Yeah, all right, that's very, very good. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, forgiveness, bemused. Okay, all right, so what we're seeing here is that what you may not be seeing is that what is happening in your world right now, the chaos, is actually a gift in disguise, perhaps. This 9 of Cups is a wish being granted from the universe. So, sometimes we ask for things and we say, oh, I want more. I want to make more money, or I want to have a better relationship, or whatever it may be. And we're thinking, oh, that's going to mean I'm going to get a promotion at my job, right? Like in our mind, we're thinking, okay, well, I want that by getting a promotion at my job, right? But you're asking for more abundance, right? More financial security, or whatever that might be. And then all of a sudden it comes up that like you lose your job, like you get laid off. You're not sure what you're going to do next. And you're like, wait a minute, I've been praying for abundance. What is this, right? This is not what I thought I was asking for, okay? But the truth is, it may be a blessing in disguise, okay? So one of the things that these cards are saying for you is that there's an opportunity for you to tap into your heart center, that which you're passionate about. Get clear about emotionally what is going on for you. Do not allow the situation that might be happening right now to shut yourself down emotionally. As a matter of fact, it's more important for you to actually tap in. What is going on with how I'm feeling about the situation right now? God grants us all different kinds of keys to help us to move through this life and to open up new portals and new doorways for ourselves. And one of the ways is through our feeling. God wants us to feel good. If something doesn't feel good, then it is not really meant for your path to move forward. And sometimes we feel like it's got to be no pain, no gain kind of thing. That is not the case. So, of course, this is the Abundant Joy Tarot channel. And one of my core beliefs is that joy is a key. Joy is a key from the divine. a gift from the divine for us to be able to find that which brings us joy, to follow us to what it is that we're meant to do on this planet. But these cards are leading you. It's literally saying here, what you're not seeing is that there is an emotional fulfillment. The Ten of Cups is the most harmonious card within the deck around emotional fulfillment, right? And you've got the nine and the Ten of Cups and the King of Cups. So this is all watery, emotional realm stuff, but very, very positive. So because we're looking at what are you not seeing, this tells me very clearly that you're not seeing the blessing in the situation that you're dealing with right now. And believe me, I understand, because there are times when things happen that you're like, I don't know how this could be a blessing. Things are literally falling apart. Okay. I'm scared because we got that fear in that first piece. I'm scared. I'm not sure what direction to go. I don't know what to do here. Okay. So understand that I hear you. I know you. I feel you. But this is, I'm asking specifically, what are you not seeing? Now, the other thing that you've got here is dumbfounded. So this also tells me dumbfounded and bemused. Both of these are things that we're like, I cannot believe that just happened. So some of you may be in a situation where something has taken place that it just came out of the blue. You did not expect it. Okay. And you're sort of dumbfounded. And sometimes when we get dumbfounded, it's almost like being in shock, right? You're just kind of like, whoa, what happened? I don't know what to move. Your body can go into fight or flight move. It's just, you're stuck, right? And so there's an opportunity here. You know, it's saying, find the fun. Stop shaking your head. You know, keep moving, right? Sometimes there are no words for things that happen. And the best you can do is shake your head. If you can, give a giggle and move straight past it. So what is important for you is to just keep moving, okay? And there's a sense of forgiveness. What I'm hearing very strongly as I'm doing this reading is that for you all who are listening to this, not only is there perhaps a need for you to forgive some wrong, some slight that's done to you, but the most important thing is for you to forgive yourself. And sometimes you might say, well, I don't need to forgive myself. I didn't do anything wrong. But you may be holding within you a need to forgive yourself, because we will think to ourselves, why did I put myself in this situation, right? Or how did I make this happen? Or why did I make this choice? Or whatever it might be, okay? And there's a need for you to understand that some things happen. I believe that all things happen for your good, but that there is a process in which, you know, there's not a need for you to beat yourself up. That's not helpful. Forgive yourself, forgive the situation, and look forward, okay? That is what we're seeing for what we're not seeing here. So now we're going to move on to the third piece of it. How do we find the light? What action do we need to take? I'll pause the video and we'll get right into it. Okay, pile one. So finding the light. What action do you need to take? How do you move forward to move through this upheaval, this sort of sense of material, you know, fear, foundational fear that we're dealing with? The other thing that I meant to tell you before, and as I was shuffling the deck and pulling your cards for this section, I remembered that at the bottom of your deck for the first part, so for the situation, right, you got the 3. And it's interesting because we talked about 3s at the beginning of the reading in the intro. That 3 was very compelling within this reading for me. And 3s tend to talk about community. It's kind of like the beginning of the journey, like you've started a journey, but you're still at the beginning of it. Things are coming into form, is what a 3 represents. You got the 3 of Wands. And you can see here, he's looking out on the horizon. He has, you know, these wands are starting to bud because there has been some work that's been laid, some foundation, some seeds have been planted. But at this point, there's sort of a pause in the process. He sent some things out and he's waiting for the ships to come in to bring him to the next step of the journey, the next step of the process, the things he needs to move. So some of you may be in a place of waiting right now, waiting to find out some information, waiting for something to come back to you so that you can take the next step of your journey. Be patient in your waiting and trust and know that you can lean on others within the journey. Okay, so that had to do with your situation. Now let's get right into what action do we need to take? How do we find the light to help us guide and navigate the chaos, if you will? So you've got interesting, yes, okay, because this came up in the other section there where we were talking about the shadow, the sort of sense of forgiveness, and also even in the beginning in the card of the vulture where we talk about an upheaval and you needing to give yourself rest, okay? Give yourself a time to grieve, if you will. And the three of swords, when we're talking about taking an action, what do you need to do? And you pull the 3 of swords. Now we're talking about you need to heal. You need to pay attention to your body. You need to pay attention to the wounds, to the pain, to the frustration, to the guilt, and give yourself the space to heal from it. I'm not saying to wallow in it. I'm saying to heal from it. Breathe through it. Acknowledge it. Hold yourself differently. Identify what it is that you need in the moment, whether that be reaching out to others or some alone time. But in that time, be cognizant of your own healing, okay? So that is the first thing that we're seeing in terms of taking action. The other thing is we've got an echo here of that King of Cups. He's come up again here. And that tells me that not only are you needing to be in a process of healing, but you need to really tap into your emotional world. Some of you may, it's a tendency when something comes up, when we go through upheaval or something that is challenging some ways, some of us will shut down emotionally and try not to feel, basically. But the action that you need to take right now to find the light is to allow yourself to acknowledge and feel what you feel and take action based on that. Your emotional world is your key. It will support you in your journey moving forward if you do not ignore it, okay? So it's important for you to pay attention to it. The next thing that you need to do in terms of taking action is get curious. Take the ideas that are coming to you, because some of you may have a lot of ideas that are coming in. And the Page of Swords really says, it's time. The universe is supporting you to be able to move forward. You've got the green light to make your ideas happen, okay? So decide what you want to do, commit to it, and execute. Get going, okay? Swords also have the sense of motion. Swords also represent our intellect, our mind. So once you are able to stabilize your emotional field here that we have with your 3 of Swords and the King of Cups, it's time for you to tap into the intelligence of your mind and allow it to push you forward with the ideas that are coming to you. Do not ignore the aha moments that you may have been having in the recent future. Don't disregard them. It's like, oh no, well, that could never happen, or how would I even make that happen? Go back to the idea, because when you have the idea, you also have all of the tools and the things that you need to make it manifest. All right. So, but you've got to give yourself the space and the confidence to take the step toward your dreams. Now, I did pull some oracle cards. I meant to pull 1 here, but 2 fell out for you. So let's see what we got. Trust and silence. Okay. And it looks like actually silence came out first because it was on the top, and then trust. So silence here is talking about, like, and this is really interesting because it's got the keys here, right? 3 sets of keys, okay? And the keys, the key is through your silence, okay? So for you all right now, this is a card telling you to observe. It is also a card, it has 2 meanings, there's 2 sides. On one side, it says, it's time for you to be still, to listen, observe, not only what's going on in your outside world, but internally. Really taking time to listen. That earlier card around the night and the stillness making sure that you're actually being still. A lot of us can feel challenged by silence. We feel like we need to fill the space and fill the air. I invite you to allow yourself to be in silence. If it's difficult for you to tolerate, then time yourself. Give yourself 5 minutes to sit in silence, and then allow that to slowly grow, okay? But give yourself the space to be still. No interaction with other people. No connection with media. When I'm saying being silent, that's not being silent scrolling through your phone. That is not being silent. You need to still your mind, okay? So that means literally doing nothing. You could close your eyes or keep your eyes open, but just be still. Focus on your breathing. Focus on what is coming up for you. Scan through your body. What is happening for you emotionally? Just acknowledge it. This is a mindful process and a mindful practice. Okay, so that is an action. We're talking about what action do you need to take to navigate this, right? And so we're saying heal, tap into your emotional field, take action on ideas that are coming to you. And the ways that you're going to be clear about what those ideas are is getting silent, listening to what's happening in your emotional world as well as your mental space. Observe it and then move forward. And then you've got trust. And trust is about not only trusting in the divine, trusting in a higher power to be able to pull you through. But we see here the caterpillar who has then goes into the, I forget what this is called, but the metamorphosis to then become the butterfly. There is an ultimate trust there because they are, in a sense, dissolving, dying unto themselves to become something new. So you are in a process right now to become something new, whatever that might be within your material world and your foundational world. And that can be scary, but there's an opportunity here for you to not only trust in the divine and your path, but to trust in yourself. Trust in yourself. Believe in yourself. Okay? You have what you need to blossom and bloom. And then the final card here that you have around action, stuck in lack. So this card talks about, it says you have all the resources you need to carry you through, whether it's financial, emotional, or physical limitations that you think you have. It is only ego-based fears, bringing us back to the devil card that we saw earlier, taking over. Rein them in and don't give up. Okay, so your actions to be able to find light within the chaos, again, heal yourself. And I heard very clearly just now, heal yourself, beautiful healer. Part of the reason why you need to heal is because your light that you are seeking right now will heal others. So heal yourself, beautiful healer. Tap into your emotional world. Take action on the ideas that are coming towards you. Remember, thou art loose. Do not let your fears, your sense of lack, take over your world. Push forward. Trust in yourself and give yourself the blessing, the gift of silence so that you can actually hear what is being called of you from the divine and what is being called of you from your own soul. Okay, that's what I've got. So let's go ahead and look at I'll pull a final card here for your guidance. Okay, and then that will close us on out. All right, just a moment. I'll pause it and pull your card. Okay, Pile 1, let's look at your final guidance from the divine. Pray it over that. And we've got, ooh, beautiful. Okay, so you've got, look at that. It's like you hold the power in your hand. Actually, it's the divine coming in, because that is the divine coming in and telling you that something new, something beautiful is happening in your life, okay? You are coming to life in a way that you may not have imagined possible, okay? But part of what's happening is, you've got this little butterfly down here. So you're kind of in the midst of transformation. When the butterfly is in the cocoon, they cannot see what it will be like to fly. They cannot see the horizons in which they will fly in. They cannot see. They are held by the creation, the arms, the grace, the fire of the divine. Okay? And so this card is really saying to you, because we were specifically asking, what is the guidance from the divine as you navigate this process that you're in right now and move toward light, finding light in the chaos? And the divine is saying, I've got you. You're coming to life in a new way, and you may not see all of it, but it is important for you to trust. And we just saw that in the other piece, that there is a need for you to trust, to believe, to have hope, as we started this reading, to hold on to hope, because something beautiful is coming. That's what's beautiful, is that this message, this reading is a confirmation that beautiful things are coming to life in your world. Okay, you chose this pile. That is what's going on for you. And then I pulled the Kuan Yin card. Oh, that's gorgeous. She tames by laying down the staff and rope. This reminds me of the Strength card in the Tarot. It also reminds me of the divine, and the sense that there's not a need of force, right? There's a need of love. There's a need of taming from within, okay? So the taming occurs by being still, by doing what you can, absolutely, and then letting go, trusting and knowing that all will be well. There is a sense that the strenuousness of putting force on something, I've got to make this happen, I've got to make this happen, I've got to make that happen. The divine is saying, do what you can and then let go. Be still and know that I am God, right? Okay, so there is a need for you to really tap into that. I want to share some of the guidance from the actual guidebook here as well, and also say a little prayer over you all from the guidebook. Okay, so it is really saying that if you feel stuck anywhere on your path, know that is all right. Okay, it is part of life sometimes. Accept what is, even your frustration, even your fear, even your doubt, let it be. It will pass, and so shall any obstacle in your way, and all the more gracefully when you offer no resistance to it, and instead simply be like the child, curious, open, like that Page of Swords, right? Exploring, observing without claiming to know or direct. In that openness and curiosity, you may see how divine compassion is serving you through the very thing you want to change. Okay? You do not need to force what is meant to be. Do all that is in your power to do, and then trust a little more. And so I'll just say this quick prayer, to that which is divine, that which I hold as my higher power, whatever that may be for you, who loves me unconditionally. I ask for you to comfort Pile 1 and assist us in integrating the wise power of your gentleness. Help us find the courage to use our willpower to temper our need to control, and instead, may we attract rather than pursue. May we receive rather than grasp. May we see grace as it truly is. Even when it is hidden from the mind's eye, may the eye of our heart be open so that we can see it even then. May we bring the cooling flame of love to the fires of war. May you and your gentle power reign supreme. Through our own free will and your merciful grace, So be it. Amen. Ashe. That is your reading pile 1. I hope that you gained a bit of peace in this journey, and that you will leave this video and go and be still, silent. Listen to yourself. Listen to your heart. Listen to the whispers of the divine and let it guide you. Thank you for tuning in. If you like the videos that you're getting here, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. It means the world. And also subscribe to the channel. And I will look forward to seeing you again soon. I do promise to bring more readings to you more often because it has been a long hiatus. Thanks so much, everybody. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2, and welcome to your reading. So we're talking about finding light in the chaos today. And if you did not check into the intro, let me just give you the quick rundown of what we're doing here. So this is going to be kind of a 4-part reading. The first part, we're just going to look at an overview of your situation, whether it be chaos, uncertainty, kind of what area, if you will, within your world that this reading is speaking to. And then we will jump into what you might not be seeing in the situation, and what are some shadow aspects really of yourself or others that you need to be aware of and conscious of as you're moving forward. And then the third part will be the actual finding the light. What actions do you need to take to be able to draw more light into the situation and into your world? And then the final fourth is going to be guidance from the divine and support for moving forward. So let's get into it. First section here, what is this situation about? What are we talking about here in terms of the chaos, uncertainty, doubt, whatever it may be? And you've got, let's see, the Ace of Cups, the 9 of Wands, the 8 of Swords. So first off, you were drawn into this with the Stone of Faith, okay? And so what I'm hearing with regards to faith is that, faith is the belief in things unseen, okay? So for many of you right now, you're possibly in a place where you're really not seeing how you can get out of the situation that you're in, or just really struggling with the chaos that there's there. There may be a sense of a real lack of faith. But the overarching energy here is that faith is your key, okay? So holding on to your faith is going to help you to make the better decisions that you need to make to be able to navigate this situation of uncertainty. Now, what I'm seeing here with the Ace of Cups is that we're talking about a situation that is probably within the realm of love, relationship, or kind of love-centered things. So heart-centered things. So it could be related to something that you have a lot of passion about, whether that be a person, a thing, a job, or whatever it might be. But what I'm really getting here is this feels like it's more sort of relational. So it could be family relationship, it could be partner relationship, it could be home. But we're talking about an influx of love, but we're talking about what is the situation that's causing some uncertainty and some chaos, right? So that lets me know that that's what we're seeing here. And then you've got the 9 of Wands, which is really talking about, it calls the action of you needing to persevere. You've been carrying a load for a long time. You've been holding the burden, and there's this need of like, you're persevering because you're strong and you have the strength to do that, but you are heavy burdened with a lot of responsibilities, tasks, and also what I'm getting is emotional burden. Even though the wands represent fire, it can represent passion, but I'm also just really feeling this sense of like feeling almost like overwhelmed. Plus we've got the 8 of Swords here, which talks about feeling trapped. And that swords are going to represent your mental, your intellectual, your mind space, right? So there is a belief here that you are trapped within like your own mind is causing you to also be trapped. And what you're seeing in your situation, you feel like you are trapped. Maybe things didn't turn out the way you thought that they were going to turn out. There has possibly been an upheaval of some kind, but more so than an upheaval, what I'm really seeing is like you having been struggling with something over a period of time. It's like getting to the end of your rope. It's not as if this is a new situation, although we do have the ace here, which talks about beginnings, but it may be that things are beginning to turn a bit sour, whereas there was a lot of love in the situation before. All right. So that is what I'm seeing, but there's a need here. So this situation is not resonating with you. You may want to choose one of the other piles, but this is really feeling to me like a relational type dynamic with regards to the uncertainty and the chaos. Now, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a partnership. But there is a dynamic here. It could be a family connection. It could be, but it is sort of being in relation, in a heart-centered connection, and feeling overwhelmed, overburdened, feeling trapped. Like the circumstances of the situation are such that you feel like you have to move in a way that is confining, right? For you. That's difficult for you, that's painful for you in some way, okay? That's what these cards are saying the situation is. We've also got the eel and the iris, safety. So there's a concern here for your own safety, whether that be physical safety, emotional safety, or mental safety, okay? So you could be in a place, but here's the thing, the eel is known for it being able to be slippery. You know that phrase, slippery as an eel, right? And that is because they are known to be able to slip out of harm's way, okay? And there is a need here for you to be conscious of having better boundaries so that you can have the safety that you need. Again, physical, emotional, or mental safety, okay? So that, because you're in this place of this Eight of Swords, you're not feeling mentally safe. She's blindfolded and she is bound here. So there is a sense of like you feeling really, really trapped. And the first thing that you're going to need to be able to do is to recognize how you feel and that you have the power to break out of this situation. But we're going to see what that would look like and how we continue to move forward as we go into the reading. The other card here is we have catching here, and this is the crow. And this card is a story about a crow that when they were getting, like, these are like little what do you call it, like kibbles or things like food that they were getting, and they looked around. The crow looked around and then dug a little hole and then made sure nobody was looking and then opened their mouth and dropped the food that they were holding in it and buried it to come back for it. So the card kind of speaks of investing in putting things aside, making sure that you are holding on to resources for you. The other thing that I get from this, though, is being mindful that, part of the reason why he was doing that is he's trying to make sure nobody else got it, right? And so being careful that you're not in a place of lack mentality where you feel like you have to hoard everything so that there will be enough for you, okay? So this is kind of a double-edged card here. On one level, there's this sense of you may be feeling this need to hoard things, put things away. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, because in this situation, it may be that you need to do that, because the card is really talking about being able to invest in yourself. But what I want you to do is to be mindful of what's happening in the situation. Be mindful of putting up boundaries that allow you to move out of harm's way before you find yourself in harm's way, okay? Or quickly when you find yourself in harm's way. And again, I want to emphasize, because they keep emphasizing it to me spiritually, I keep hearing it, that this, for some of you, this may be physically feeling unsafe, but I think more of the majority is like mental and emotional safety. And those can be particularly slippery. I mean, physical is terrible. And if you're in a physical situation that you feel harmed, you need to get out of it immediately. Okay. Seek help. There are hotlines. There are places to be able to go. Okay. The mental and the emotional spaces where one feels trapped can be a little bit tricky because we can be trapping ourselves. One, two, we can not be looking at it honestly and squarely and convince ourselves that, you know, it's not that bad, or this person didn't really mean that, or yada, yada, yada. Okay. And it begins to eat away at us. I feel that this is more prevalent in the group that is here because of this 9 of Wands and the 8 of Swords. Because the 9 of Wands comes after like carrying a burden for some time. Okay. And so it's important for you to be mindful of what you've been allowing in your life. Okay. And putting up boundaries, because you deserve to be in a space where you feel physically, emotionally, mentally safe, held, and cared for. Okay. And if you do not feel that, you have every right. It is your divine right to get out of that situation and get into a situation in which you do feel that. All right. That's the first piece. That's what this situation is. Now we're going to look at what you might not be seeing and any shadows that you may have. I'm going to pause the video and come right back to you. Okay, pile 2. So we're looking at what might be in the shadow. And one thing that I did want to say was what was underneath the deck within your situation before was the Knight of Pentacles. Now, what this is saying to me is that you need to take slow but steady progress to move things forward in your situation. This isn't a situation where there's going to be a fast turnover, if you will. You may have been dealing with this situation for some time. Things are going to shift and move in a new direction, but there is a need that I'll just say this Knight is slow moving, but he's thorough. Okay, so this indicates to me that there is a need for you to take your time with what you're building and be complete, be thorough in what it is that you're building and doing and moving forward to bring yourself out of a situation of uncertainty and chaos. Okay, slow and steady wins the race. All right. Now let's look at what you might not be seeing, what might be some shadow aspects that you need to deal with within yourself, etc. So you've got the 10 of Swords, the Wheel, and the Sun. I love that for you, okay? And patience. That's just what I was talking about there. And delay. Wow, okay, all right. So what we've got here is, okay, so the 10 of Swords is trying to find another way to say it, but it's a painful completion. It's when things have to come to an end. It's over. It's done. It's almost a sense of defeat. Okay, that there is a sense. But I love this particular deck in the way it illustrates the 10 of Swords, because it talks about she's literally facing a new horizon, and all that was in the past, all the pain, right? Because the 10 is an ending, right? And swords are a really heavy suit in that it's talking about your sort of mental and into your mind space, right? And it's almost like I see this as like all of the sort of dark thoughts, the negativity, the things is just flying away, okay? They're ending. And that can be painful at times, but she is looking toward the light. And we're talking about finding the light and uncertainty here. So what you're not seeing here perhaps is that an ending is at hand, and that is going to bring about a new sense of light. And this is confirmed or illustrated further with the Wheel, because the Wheel talks about fortunes turning and changing in your direction. So you've got the Wheel of Fortune here, which lets us know that you're in the process of change, of a turnover, of things beginning to move forward. And again, we're looking at what you may not be seeing. So for you right now, it may look like things are not moving. It may look like you're stuck, because that's what we just saw with that Eight of Swords, and that you're trapped in some way. But what's going on underneath the surface is that things are beginning to turn in your direction. But there is a need for you to be able to let go. Because when the Ten of Swords arrives, it is imperative that we let go. Something is ending, something is over. And so there is an opportunity for you to let go and allow for the fates to turn in your direction, because where it's leading you to is the sun. And this is childlike joy. This is surrender. This is the ability to find, talk about finding light, right? The sun is the light, right? It is divinity. It is joy. It is hope. It is abundance. It is laughter, right? It's all of those things. And so what this is really saying to me is what you're not seeing is that there is an ending that is occurring, that things are beginning to shift. Your whole world may feel like it is turning, or very soon will be, right? But it's leading you to a place of joy. But the thing that you need to be mindful of is patience. This card says, I accept that everything happens in divine order. It's just as I was saying with that knight, right? The Knight of Pentacles. It's the slowest moving knight in the deck, but it is thorough. It is moving along step by step. That's what you're being called to do as you maneuver through this uncertainty. Because what you're not seeing is that even if you're taking tiny steps, beloved, even if you're taking tiny steps, you are moving forward. And there are unseen things that are happening that are going to shift this situation. It may feel like you're in a delay. So one of the things that I want to say here, because this is the shadow cards, and I pull these to also help you understand what might be going on for you. These cards can kind of point to behaviors, way of thinkings, patterns that you may find yourself falling into, okay, when things get hard, uncertain, fearful, okay? It's that place that we may run back to, all right? And you've got, not everything has to happen now, and taking time to consider the outcome can be beneficial. However, delaying won't fix anything, as nothing will change. Okay. So what this is telling me for you all is that there is a need for you to lean on your faith. Yes. Take time to consider what actions you need to take to move yourself forward, but do not fall into the pattern of doing nothing and continue and saying, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll just tell them tomorrow. Oh, the next time they do that, I'll tell them that it's not okay. That's delaying. Okay. It is important for you not to delay setting boundaries for yourself, taking steps that you need to make sure that you're ensuring your own physical, emotional, and mental safety. All right. So that is what I'm seeing here in terms of what you're not seeing. Lean on your faith, lean on community, and do what you need to do to take a step forward. Even if it's one step at a time, keep moving forward. Okay. The Knight might be slow. The Knight of Pentacles might be slow, but they are consistent. Okay. So consistently get yourself moving. Now, let's move on now to talking about how do you actually find the light? What actions do you need to take? And I will pause the video and be right back. Okay, pile 2. So now let's look at finding the light and what actions you need to take to move yourself forward out of this sense of uncertainty or chaos. And you've got the King of Cups. The King of Cups came up a lot in the first reading. So if there's another issue that you're dealing with, you may want to take a look at that. Okay, so this is pretty clear. So first of all, in terms of finding the light, what's important for you to do is know yourself. Know your emotional world. Meditate. Listen to yourself. Know how you're feeling emotionally and pay attention to, because what the King of Cups is also saying is that you are in all likelihood somebody who is fairly aware when you tap in to the emotional field around you, whether that be what's going on for you internally or what's going on for people around you. So what is important, what the message here is for you to use that ability that you have to help you navigate effectively through uncertainty, fear, and chaos, right? That means trusting yourself. It's important for you to trust yourself and your emotional awareness to help you move and take the action that you need to take. And you've got the beautiful Page of Coins, which is about investing in knowledge and in yourself, pushing forward, being, what's the word, persistent, studious, right? In terms of like, it can talk about going back to school, but it's really, in this case, we're talking about finding the light in the uncertainty. So it is about leaning into seeking out the resources that you need, seeking out the knowledge that you need to be able to move yourself forward in a productive way. The Page of Coins represents hard work. So it talks about like that hard work beats talent every time if talent isn't giving hard work, right? So if talent isn't giving hard work, then hard work is going to beat talent every time. So it's important for you to put in the due diligence, if you will, within your situation and do the work that's needed to be able to propel yourself forward. Now, the Ace of Coins is really taking small steps forward. Okay, and so we've talked about that a little bit, that there's a need to maybe not necessarily rush forward, but take steps, because those small steps over time is what is going to give you what you need to invest in your future, to invest in yourself. The Ace of Coins also invites you to envision a future you with the lifestyle that you want, surrounded by the people that you want, that you're cared for in the way that you want, right? You need to envision that, put that fully forth, and then do the work to take the actions you need to bring that into form. So this is all doable, but this is what we're saying here in terms of what action do I need to take to bring more light, peace into my current situation of uncertainty. Listen to yourself. Do the hard work of finding the resources that you need to be able to propel yourself forward on an idea, or really building the foundation of the life that you want. Trust in first of all, allow yourself to have the vision of the life that you want, and then trust in your vision and do the work that's needed to bring that life into form. Okay. And the other guidance that you have here, that is really interesting because this exact same card came in the other reading, and I totally shuffled that deck. So that is interesting. This is talking about being stuck in lack, right? And it says, you have all the resources you need to carry you through, whether it's financial, emotional, or physical limitations that you think you have. It is only fear taking over. Rein your fears in and don't give up, right? So there's a need for you to keep pushing forward. This particular, I did not pull this for the other reading, but I felt pulled to pull from this other deck that I have for this reading. And you got, as I am, don't allow your insecurities and to overshadow your remarkable abilities. All right. And I feel like that was important because in this particular situation, because you had gotten that 8 of Swords and that 9 of Wands, you may be in a space where you're feeling run down, beat down, like not really believing in yourself in a certain way, gotten yourself into a situation in which your boundaries have been overridden. And so you're beginning to also feel different about yourself and not having the guardrails in place to really like hold yourself in the highest esteem. And this card is reminding you that to not let your insecurities override what is possible for you, that you have incredible talent, incredible ability. Your life is calling for you. The divine is calling for you. You are a divine soul. It has been held on your life. Okay. And so there is a need for you to be able to tap into your humanness and your internal divinity and allow that to move you forward. All right. And then you got family and change. Yeah. So in the family card, this is really talking about that we also have the ability to choose our own family. All right. And by choosing our own family, and it can be our birth family, but it could be other people that are not our birth family, that love us unconditionally, that pour into us. That is what family is meant to be. Okay. So it is not meant to be, a place of torment. Okay. So it's really important for you to really move toward family that lifts you up. Not to say that family doesn't challenge us in loving and beautiful ways. That's absolutely fine. But they also lift us up and they have our back and they're there for us. They tell us the truth and they love on us. Okay. So it's important to find the energies, the people in your life that can serve as family for you. And understanding that there's change, and all of us have change. And for human beings, it's one of the hardest things to do, is to deal with change. This card invites you to embrace change, to not hold so tightly to the past that the change becomes a point of breaking rather than a place of bending. Okay, so this card is really calling you to be able to look. I mean, there's just like a snake here. I'm not fond of snakes, but the snake is like, he's looking the snake right in the eye, like, because he's walking with his own divinity, right? So there's no need for him to be disturbed by change that is happening. We just have to continue to move forward. And for you, your guidance is taking it one step at a time. Okay. One step at a time, doing your due diligence, focusing on having a bit of discipline about researching, doing the work you need to do, pulling the resources into you, learning what you need to learn to be able to embrace a life that you are envisioning for yourself. I invite you to dream bigger. Okay? Dream bigger, loves. So let's now go into the final part of your reading, which is the guidance from the divine, and let's hop into it. Okay, pile 2. So let's look at your final guidance here. And you have, oh, beautiful, the gentle gardener. This card is really beautiful because it's sort of illustrating like your life, yourself, your inner world as being this beautiful garden, and that there's so much in there. And this is, she's sort of representing the divine, however you see the divine. And this card is inviting you to co-create with the divine the reality that you want to bring into form. The key message here is that you, with your creator, are a creator, and that you can manifest that which you most desire. And this is a call for you to begin to do the work of tilling the soil, sowing, planting, building the dream, the vision that you want to have for yourself. So it is important, as we saw in the earlier reading, for you to actually take in the earlier part of the reading, for you to take some time to really envision that which you want to create. Because this card is coming in from the divine saying, beloved, I can co-create with you. And who does not want to be in creation with the divine? Okay, so be in creation with the divine by allowing yourself to envision that which you may not see possible in your world right now, but that which you most desire, and have faith. Okay, have faith. And the other card that you got, that is gorgeous. So this is above you, the lantern dancer. All right. This card calls to mind that there's something in the situation that you can't always see. even when the moon is full, as it is in the background, you may think everything is being illuminated and you can see. And so therefore, if you're in a place of uncertainty or struggle, you feel like you can see everything, like everything is not hidden, like there's nothing hidden from you. This card is saying that there are things that are happening with divinity to move things forward, okay? There are times when we feel as though nothing seems to be flowing, kind of moving forward in a way. We encounter obstacles and closed doors. We wait for another door to open, but nothing seems to be happening. We begin to doubt ourselves and whether our dreams are even possible. So this card really comes to say things are not as they seem right now. You may think you have the whole picture in mind, but there are factors at play you cannot clearly see. So let go of your fixed opinions and worries. Trust in the power of the divine to work things out in the best possible way. You don't have to work out the solution yourself. You just need to trust your inner guidance and allow yourself to be led. The path you are taking needs to twist and turn a little before your success can come. There are certain elements that need to be integrated, certain people that need to become involved, and certain people that need to be moved away. Trust in this. It will happen as natural. It will happen as natural as it needs to. Opportunities and events according to a divine plan. It is all working out. Trust in that. Have faith and let peace come to your body, mind, and soul. This is really beautiful. And I'm going to just say a quick prayer over it, calling on your creator, your divine higher power, what you believe is your higher power. So I ask on that higher power, that divinity, God, who loves you unconditionally, please show Pile 2 mercy and grace. Whatever they need to see or understand, to have faith in what is happening, help them find the highest path here, the path of light, of least resistance, to more effortlessly manifest the intentions of their heart. And so it is. Amen. Ache. So that is your reading today. If you like the readings that you're getting here, please hit that thumbs up for me. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I will be doing more readings, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Please take steps to find the light in your uncertainty and chaos. It is there waiting for you. All right. See you next time. Okay. Hello, Pile 3. So we are in our reading today. If you chose the Desire Stone, then this is the pile for you. We are looking at finding light in the chaos. And in case you didn't catch the intro, this reading is going to be 4 parts. The first part, we're just going to look at what is the situation, what might be causing uncertainty, chaos, concern, disruption within your world right now. And then we will, after identifying that, we will then look at what do you not see in the situation? What might be some shadow aspects that you need to deal with within yourself? And then the third piece of it will be the actual finding light. How do you find light? What actions do you need to take to be able to navigate through this period of concern, uncertainty, or chaos? And then finally, we will pull some guidance from divine. So that's what it is. So let's get into it. So this first piece is just looking at what is the situation, what are we dealing with right now in regards to uncertainty and chaos. And you have the Knight of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups. Interesting. Okay. So the first thing that I'm seeing here is that something is moving slowly, and I'm getting the understanding from these cards and from Spirit that it has to do with sort of a sense of lack, of not having the material things that you need, whether they be financial, whether it be like housing, like your foundation, the things that you need to have in the material world, a job, it could be family, home, that things are moving very slowly. Now, the thing is that you probably are making progress, but it may be very difficult to see right now because of the circumstances that you're seeing in your life and the lens in which you're looking at it from a place of hopelessness or not feeling like there are resources there available for you. In this particular card in the Five of Pentacles, you see these people out in the storm, really struggling, not having all the clothes and things that they need while they're dealing with the storm. So if we think about this as sort of a metaphor for your life, that could be the physical reality. You may really be struggling, but it also may just be an element of your life in which you're not getting, you don't feel that you have the things that you need, and you don't see a way to get it, and you're sort of lost in the storm. The thing about this particular card is that behind them is this warm church that could invite them in, and they could get some peace and resources for what they need. So this card is really speaking of sort of not seeing, not being open to the resources that may be available to you by just simply maybe turning in a different direction, okay? So, but these cards also speak to, so the Nine of Cups is actually a very prosperous, emotionally fulfilling cup. It's coming to a place, it's sort of self-emotional fulfillment. So coming to a place where you feel you can rely on yourself emotionally, like you have come to a plateau of emotional success within your own journey, okay? So now it's interesting to me that these are the cards that we're seeing here, because what may be happening for you all, the folks that are tuning into this pile, is that you may even be surprised by maybe the setbacks or the delays or things that may be happening in your life right now, because you actually have done a lot of work. You've done a lot of growth in your life. You've done a lot of healing. And yet now you're feeling like it's almost like you took 3 steps forward and you feel like you're being pushed 4 steps back, right? And that can be almost like, that can really cause a sense of uncertainty and chaos, because we may begin to question our own journey, if you will, as well as our own fortitude and our own growth and strength. So there's really, I'm really getting a strong sense to convey to you that it is important to know that the work that you have done thus far in your life is not in vain. And it's just that there is a new opening that is happening, a new, it's kind of like when we are learning and growing in our lives, as our lives proceed, it's a secular process of healing and growing. So, maybe you start with, if I do a simplified answer, right, you start with a career, and you go and get a job, and you have trouble with the manager of that job, and you don't know how to, you blow up and you end up losing the job. The next time you get the job and you go back, and maybe you have difficulty with the manager, but you learn to communicate better and you negotiate better with them in the process. And then, and then maybe later on something happens, you lose that job, you go to another job. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you is that each time you're picking up new information, your new skills, new abilities, new ways to approach a situation that might have a similar dynamic. In this situation, you may feel like you've been knocked off your skis, like, wow, I've already been through a couple of cycles. Why is this happening? And so what I just want to say is all the work that you have done has not gone away. It may be slow right now. You need to be conscious of your lack consciousness and making sure that you are allowing yourself to envision a better process, a place outside of this chaos, outside of the challenges that you're facing. Keep your mind, as they say, keep your mind stayed on Jesus. Keep your mind stayed on spirit. Keep your mind stayed on where you're going, right? Keep your mind stayed on where you're going. The other thing that you need to be aware of here, so this is the Crow card, okay? This is saying alley, right? And the thing about an alley is it's a narrow pathway. It can be dark. It can have objects and obstacles in it that you cannot see fully, and also may be difficult to navigate. So the other thing that's happening for you right now is that you may feel as though the path is very narrow, and that you're blinded by you're not even sure which direction to go. Okay. The good thing about an alley is that even though it's a narrow pathway, it's a narrow pathway. So the step that you need to take, you just need to move forward. Keep your eye on the light at the end of that pathway and keep taking your steps forward. Okay. I get it that there are obstacles that are there that you cannot see, but you need to begin to continue to navigate through that. You've also got overcoming obstacles. So the overcoming obstacles, this is the goat and the willow, okay? And so the goat is a symbol of balance, jumping with energy, perching easily on really narrow footholds, right? Remember, we're just talking about that alley that you may feel that you're in. The goat's vitality and grace are inevitable. The willow, because this is the goat and the willow is the plants there, okay? The willow is a symbol of mourning, often appearing on gravestones, okay? So willows are said to mark the entrance to the underworld. When combined, the goat and the willow show us that there may be losses, but we can overcome them with renewed energy and the right balance, okay? So what this card is coming to say is that you may have experienced a recent loss, a setback, a letdown of some kind. It could be profound for you, okay? It could be like, the loss of a job, the loss of a living situation. It could be profound, okay? Obstacle has appeared in your past, but in order to regain control, you need to realign yourself with your goals, all right? So as the alley indicates, you may have a narrow path. There may be obstacles that have fallen in your way, which would be easy for us to fall back into a lack mentality, to think, oh, we're never going to be able to get it done. I've taken 3 steps and now I'm getting pushed back 4, right? But those steps will be easier marked this next time because you already have the skills. You've already grown. You've already learned. You've been there, done that, and you can do it in a new and different way. Okay. But anyway, I've kind of started to go into the light. But what we're seeing here in this situation here for the folks who dialed into pile 3 is that something has happened. There's been a disruption, a loss, could be a job loss, it could be a home situation that has kind of knocked you back into a previous lack mentality or heightened your lack mentality, okay? It has also disturbed your emotional balance, your personal emotional balance, your personal belief in yourself, your personal belief in sort of joy, like in the goodness of things, right? So, and things are moving very slowly. There may be delays. There may be things that are holding up the process, okay? And you've got a narrow path. So that's what I'm seeing is the situation. Let's take a look now at what you might not be seeing in the situation and what might be some shadow aspects that you are carrying before we then jump into, okay, what action do we need to take? But right now, let's look at what are we not seeing? Okay, before I jump into what we're not saying. I also meant to bring up to you that at the bottom of your deck in the first part, in terms of looking at the situation, you got the Five of Wands. And so what the Five of Wands indicates is that, fives often represent a conflict, okay? But particular with the Five of Wands, it talks about competition. It talks about there being, being pushed, like sort of being pushed in a way to lean on your inner strength. The thing that's different about the Five of Wands and Five of Swords is the wands represent fire, okay? So this is an opportunity with this situation that you're dealing with for you to lean on your own fire and to not let competition knock you out of the game, but allow it to push you upward, to push you forward. Leverage the competition as a tool to reach higher, right? Whether that, makes you stronger, more agile, more active, more willing to take a risk, whatever it is, allow it to push you upward and forward, because the competition is coming to you only because you are you are a able adversary, right? Like you are a competitor. That means you've got the skills. So that's a different way of sort of looking at it, right? So I just want to keep that. I want you to keep that in mind. And then I don't normally keep reading, but I'm just seeing that the Devil card was right under that. And so that is just really being mindful that thou art loose. Do not let your fear handcuff you and keep you from moving forward. All right. Now let's look at what you might not be seeing and any sort of shadow aspects that you need to look at for yourself. Okay, so very first, right off the bat, what you may not be seeing is your own vitality, energy, passion, and power, okay? The Queen of Wands is in her element. She uses her fire and her charisma to be able to successfully navigate her world, all right? So this is telling me what you might not be seeing is your own secret weapon, which is your own fire and power within yourself, all right? So be mindful of that, right? And tap into that. Don't disregard your strength, your inner passion, your desire, right? Desire is a beautiful thing because it is like fire, right? It fuels. It gives us the energy that we need to get through. Whereas something may have been tough before, if we're passionate about it, it reminds me of like when they talk about like the mama bear, like the mama, if the mama sees that like her child is stuck under the car, somehow she's going to find the strength to lift that vehicle if it wasn't that, and she might not have had it before. But that passion, that desire, that fire will ignite in her an ability that maybe she didn't have before. This is the same here for the Queen of Wands. There's a pot, if you tap into your desire, and I didn't really get to talk much about this desire stone, but I think that is your particular key, those who have dialed into this pile. Your passion, that which you're passionate about, that which you desire strongly, speak into word and take action around is going to be your key to move through this sense of uncertainty that you're dealing with. The other thing that you've got here is the Hierophant. And in this particular depiction, it is really talking about, the Hierophant talks about either like a spiritual teacher coming in to guide you, or a sense of an awakening, okay? An ascension, okay? So this is letting me know that part of what you're maybe not seeing right now is that the circumstances of your outer world are a reflection of how you are being prepared in your inner world for an awakening and an ascension. Sometimes the divine has to move things, places, people, and things out of the way so that you can be in alignment with your soul's journey. Because maybe you were complacent, maybe you were unable to move forward, maybe it was just the time for you to be able to take the next move, all right? The other thing that you've got here is the Three of Pentacles. And this talks about working collaboratively in community to be able to get things done. So part of what you may need to be thinking about in terms of what you're not seeing in the situation is that there may be community resources. And that can be, in the form of sort of larger groups in terms of community. And it could also just be that there's a friend or two or an acquaintance or something like that in which you can work together on something to help you move out of whatever is causing distress or uncertainty right now. This is about building in collaboration, building in community, and setting a firm foundation in the material world, because this is the Pentacles. Now, in terms of your own sort of shadows, we got regret. I know that I cannot change the past. So understand that we always do the best that we can do at the time that we do it, based on the knowledge that we have, right? When we know better, we do better. It doesn't make sense to hold yourself in a place of regret. It's sort of a useless emotion. It doesn't cause you to be able to move forward. In fact, it can actually paralyze you. And that's the other shadow card that you got. Not being able to move forward can overwhelm and create a sense of fear. But standing still can be just as frightening. At least moving forward can create change. Now, I want to point this out because when I pull these shadow cards, I'm really also looking at what might be a place that you fall back to when you get scared, when you're concerned, when things feel overwhelming. For you, that may be paralyzation. In other words, I'm just stuck, like deer in headlights. Cannot move forward, not taking an action. I just got to go to bed. I can't do anything. It's okay to do that for an evening, but then that next day, you got to get up and take some action. One step, one small step. You just cannot stay still in the midst of it, okay? It's not to say that you don't need stillness, because you do, okay? So I want to just preface this by saying this is a tendency that you may fall on in your shadow. So be mindful of when you feel like you're letting yourself be paralyzed over a period of time. It's not the same as saying, oh, I need a break tonight, I'm going to go to bed early. That's fine. I'm just saying that if you are constantly going to a place of, I can't move, I'm paralyzed, check yourself. Realize that you can move past that. Okay, I'm going to keep moving here, but this is what I'm seeing in terms of what you're not seeing and kind of some shadow. Let's get into finding the light, all right? Okay, Path 3, so let's look at what action do you need to take to find the light out of this situation, okay? Yeah, let's get into it. Okay. You got the Knight of Coins, the Five of Coins, the Ace of Swords, self-doubt, solitude, and dreams. All right. So in terms of finding the light, the first thing that comes up is there is a need for you to diligently take steps moving forward to master something that you're working on, either a skill that you're working on, or even if it's yourself, like improving yourself, moving things forward, whether your task is looking for a job or perfecting something that you do within your own work. The Knight of Swords talks about that steady, consistent work, getting up day to day and doing the work that needs to be done to progress forward. So in any given day, you might not see the progress. It may feel slow, okay? Because the Knight of Coins is the slowest knight in the deck, but all knights talk about movement, taking steps to move us forward in some way. And so in terms of you finding your light, what actions do you need to take? You got to be consistent. Get up, do the work that you need to do, make the phone call, send the email, whatever it is, every day, one step at a time. So that is the first thing. Now, this is interesting that your Five of Coins has come up twice, right? So the Five of Coins is this sense of lack. And this is actually really beautifully put in terms of the Five of Coins. What do you need to know in terms of action? The Five of Coins comes up when something has happened, right? And understandably, it was probably terrible. A loss, It could be any number of things. Any number of things in life, a setback, a hurt, something that caused you pain. Okay. It was definitely bad and there's no denying it. Okay. That's the fact of what the Five of Coins is. But the Five of Coins is usually indicating that something has happened. In other words, you have walked through it and you're now in danger of refusing help, denying reality, leaning into martyrdom, bypassing rescue attempts, rather than moving forward, staying in the pain, rather than moving on. So don't willfully remain imprisoned in a bad situation or remain staring back at the past, like we talked about with regret. Don't let yourself stay in that past. Instead, it's time to move onwards and upwards. Ask for help. Go ahead and process what happened, but move on. It's time to heal and rejuvenate. And so it is totally okay to ask for help. You should ask for help. That's part of what this card is calling you to do. So if we look at the actions that we've seen so far, it's you taking steps, one step at a time, to diligently move yourself forward. Every day doing something to move yourself forward, or doing multiple things to move yourself forward, right? The next thing is ask for help. Process what happened and begin to move on, okay? Process what happened and begin to move on. And then your third card here is the Ace of Swords. And the first thing that comes out to mind when I see this card for you all in this deck is truth. Truth is going to be enlightened shortly. You need to speak your truth and stand firm in it and allow it to be a guiding light for you. Aces always represent a beginning. The swords are going to represent sort of your thought process, your mental things. Something new is being born, if you will, within your thought process. You may even be shifting how you think about a certain situation. And this sword is like allowing you to cut through to the truth and use that truth to be able to move you forward into and out of the uncertainty and chaos that you might be feeling at this time. Now, in terms of yourself, it is really important that you give yourself some time within solitude, okay? You've got solitude here, and it says spending time alone is often what we need to hear the whispers of our soul. Get to know all aspects of yourself so you can stand on your own in any situation. So we've got this wise owl here and this sort of sense of stillness. This also feels connected to the other card that we have here, which is the dreams card. And this is about you really tapping into your intuition and paying attention to your dreams. And if you have trouble remembering your dreams, start to try to make a habit of like writing them down, or before you go to bed, set an intention. I want to remember my dreams. I want to remember my dreams, and try to capture anything that you can just upon waking. But the other thing about this card is if you don't remember your dreams, it's also about intuition. It's about you listening, and it can require stillness for you to be able to hear what it is that are the whispers of your soul, what your dreams are, and what they're guiding you to do. Because dreams can oftentimes come in symbols and may not be a clear cut, you need to do this, right? So there's a need for you to be able to listen, tap into your emotional space, tap into your intuitive space, and allow yourself to know yourself so you know when you see a certain symbol what that is meaning for you, okay? What that is meaning for you. So in terms of actions here, it is about you making sure that you carve out some time for solitude, so stillness. If you're uncomfortable with stillness, take it slow. Set a timer for 5 minutes and just sit still, doing nothing and listening to what the divine and your soul wants to reveal to you. Pay attention to how you feel in your body, okay? Allow whatever is to come to come. Don't judge it, just observe what happens for you in that time of stillness. And the other thing that you've got here is self-doubt. Okay. Now this card says you are questioning yourself and unable to move forward. Okay. Now this is calling out exactly what we just saw in the other one about your finding yourself being paralyzed. You're beginning to doubt yourself on the journey because you've already done a lot of healing, and now you're seeing this setback and wondering what happened to all the work that I did, right? It's still there, all right? Do not allow yourself to get caught up in self-doubt. It says, don't let fear hold you back. You have the strength and power to see it through. Now is the time to break free from this limiting pattern. So we always have choices. So when that old limiting belief, concern, doubt comes up about myself, I've never been smart enough to do this. I've never been able to follow through on this. Whatever it is for you. It is always an opportunity when that arises for you to break through it, think differently, make another choice. Do not allow yourself to fall back into that pattern. Okay? So those are the things that I'm seeing for you in terms of how do you find the light. Follow your desire and passion. Take action daily, slowly but surely. Slow wins the race, but keep moving. Ask for help. Acknowledge what happened and heal. Speak your truth and stand in it, and pay attention to your dreams. All right. So now the final piece is I'm going to ask for final guidance, if you will, from the divine or your higher self, however you see it. And let's take a look. Okay, pile 3. So that was a lot in the reading, and let's just see, what is sort of your final guidance on all the things that we've talked about in terms of what you're dealing with and how to move yourself forward. So let's see, you've got Mountain. Oh, I love this. So this card, the Mountain card, and I'm going to look at the book a little bit, but the Mountain card speaks about when we come across things that feel insurmountable. They feel like mountains. They seem like, how are we ever going to get over this? Okay. This card really talks about being flexible and understanding there are multiple ways to get through the mountain. When we think about the river, she bends, she flows, she moves through the mountain with ease, right? There are multiple ways, whether it may be through caves underground, that you need to get through the mountain, right? It may be that you need to find a way to fly over the mountain, right? But there are multiple ways. The idea here is being agile, flexible, adaptable, so that you can conquer whatever obstacle you are facing. You have the capacity to flow around any obstacle. This is the time to adapt, okay? That's what this card is speaking to. And so the divine is really saying, you've got this, okay? You've got this. You just need to be adaptable. Sometimes you'll come across what appears to be an insurmountable obstacle, like a huge mountain, that separates you from success. You might think that climbing it or chiseling away at it is the answer. But why take such a treacherous, tedious approach, right? So that's when we need to be like the rivers and flow around the mountain naturally. You'll move past this obstacle relatively quickly if you choose the easy way around. This is the time to adapt to your circumstances. If you do decide to climb, remember to take one step at a time, opting for the next right action. Sometimes you may have to start to climb and then adapt and do something different, okay? So be mindful of that and be adaptable. That is your guidance from Spirit. And then you've got, oh, wow, we couldn't ask for anything better. Be fearless. Be fearless. Oh, I love this for you all, pile 3. This is all about the divine stepping in and saying, you have a courageous heart. I planted you with a courageous heart. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It says, now is the time to leap. Do not hesitate. Do not fear. You don't need to know how it is all going to work out in order for everything to work out perfectly. This is not a time for small, tentative steps. This is the time for a big gesture, to take a chance, to be bold. So take a running leap with your eye only on where you are going. Your body will trust you and follow. Divine will protect and guide you. Leap together with the divine, fearlessly into the unfolding future of your divine destiny. It will be a wild ride. Okay, so this card is really the divine jumping in and saying 100% you got this, just like the other one. There are times when it's a time to be patient, and there are times when it's time to leap. And this is the time for you to leap. Don't be scared to live with freedom and boldness. This is not the time to hold yourself back or play small. Okay, if you are asking a question with a certain choice, the answer is yes. Go for it. Don't overthink things. Trust your instinct, and don't be afraid of leaping forward in your life with gusto. Okay, I love that. That is beautiful. And then I'll just say a quick prayer over this to seal this reading, that all that is divine and holy, whatever your higher power is or higher self that loves you unconditionally, please help Pile 3 to realize that they already have so much courage in their heart. May they leap, even though they may be afraid sometimes. May they focus completely upon the loving light, calling them forward into a more beautiful life than they have ever known. May they act with complete trust in themselves and in you, divine. Through divine mercy and through their own free will, let it be so. And so it is. Ashe. I hope that you received something that you needed today to be able to move forward on your journey. If you like what you're getting here, please hit that thumbs up for me. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I will be doing more readings and perhaps a meditation soon. And thank you for joining today, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.